In the heart of a vast African valley, where the baobab trees touched the sky and the rivers sank to the earth, there lived a woman named Nia. She was known in the village of Oba for her kindness and her strong hands, but most of all for the deep love she had for her only son, Tendo. Tendo was the joy of her life. She had given birth to him during the hardest time in her life, when war came and her husband had gone to fight and never returned. She raised Tendo alone, working in the fields by day and telling him stories by firelight at night. Nia often told Tendo, "My love for you is like the mountain," she says. "It does not move, even when the rain falls hard." But one day, the sky turned grey, and a strange silence fell upon Oba. That evening, as the rain began to pour, Tendo did not return home from the river. The villagers searched, calling his name through the trees, and across the river banks. His small fishing basket was found on the river's edge. No signs of a struggle, no footprints, just the sound of thunder in the distance. Nia's heart twisted in pain. The village elder Baba Jalo put a hand on her shoulder and said, "It is the forest spirit, Nia. The boy may have crossed into the forbidden place." "The Oran forest?" Nia asked, her voice trembling. Baba nodded slowly. "No child has ever returned from there." But Nia's eyes blazed. "Then I'll go where no mother has gone." That night, while the rain still fell, Nia tied a red scarf to her head, packed a calabash of water, and took her husband's old spear. She entered the Oro forest, where people said spirits danced and whispered in the dark. The trees grew thick, the air was cold, the path twisted like a snake. Strange voices echoed around her. "Go back," they hissed. "You are only a woman." But Nia kept walking. She whispered Tendo's name over and over, like a song to keep her strong. She found a feather tied to a branch, the same feather Tendo had worn on his hat. He had passed this way, hope burned in her chest. Deep in the forest, Nia came upon a glowing hut, made of bones and thorns. An old woman with skin like smoke stepped out. Her eyes were pale like milk. "You seek the child," the woman said. Nia nodded, tears falling. "Please, it is all I have." The spirit woman looked at her for a long time. Then she spoke. "There is a curse in this forest." The boy stepped into it. "He is alive, but not free. To bring him back, you must give up your memories. All of them. Every laugh, every moment of joy with him." Nia gasped. "If I forget him, what is the use of saving him?" The spirit woman answered, "That is the price of love and sacrifice." Nia closed her eyes. The images came. Tendo as a baby, his first steps, his laughter in the fields. And she opened her eyes. "I will give them up," she said. "Let him live, please." The spirit woman touched Nia's forehead. A great wind blew through the forest, and Nia fell to the ground. When she woke, she was lying beside the river bank, the sky clear above her. Beside her, a boy sat, wet, shivering, confused. It was Tendo. "Mama?" he asked, reaching out, but Nia only looked at him, her eyes blank. The memories were gone. Tendo cried and held her. The villagers found them together. Days passed. Nia returned to the village with Tendo. Though she could not remember their stories, her hands still made his favorite food. Though she had no memory, her heart still beat faster when he was near. She could not explain it. One night, under the stars, Tendo placed the same feather in her hair and told her the story of her love, how she came into the forest, how she fought for him, how she gave up everything. He wept as he spoke. Many seasons passed. Tendo became a man of strength and grace. His skin glowed like oiled mahogany under the sun. His shoulders broad from wrestling the river's waves. He cast his net with power, and it returned heavy with fish. Oba sang his name in the mornings. Women smiled shyly in the market, and fathers nodded in approval. But Tendo lived not for riches or praise. He lived for one thing, his mother. In a quiet compound on the hill, he built her a house. Each morning he knelt to serve her tea. Mama, your tea. Nia would nod with kind eyes, but never called him my son. Just my boy, like one might say to a helpful stranger. Sometimes she stared at the hills, as if something called her, but the past was locked behind a fog she could not part. In a neighboring homestead lived the beautiful twin sisters, Bora and Mira. Bora was gentle as the evening wind, her voice soft like river reeds. Mira was bold, eyes sharp as broken glass. Both admired Tendo, but it was Bora's heart that called to his. They met often by the riverside. They talked, laughed, walked through maize fields where butterflies danced between them. Tendo's heart, once guarded, now open. Bora, he said one dusk, your name is the calm after the storm. Stay in my life. She blushed, touching his hand. I have always been here, Tendo, she said, even before you saw me. Mira watched them from afar, her smile tight, her heart dark. She said to her sister one night, you always had what I wanted, she said. Bora, brushing her hair, laughed. Oh, Mira, there are many men in Oba. Mira said, not like Tendo. Mira's eyes were cold. And if I cannot have him, I will not let you keep him. You will wear white and then mourn in black. Nia, though quiet, began to feel strange winds when Mira entered their home. Her hands would shake. Her dreams turned violent. Flashes of fire, screams, a river swallowing a boat. One day, as Mira brought plantain and stew to the house, Nia's spoon dropped from her fingers. She stared at Mira's face. A voice whispered in her mind, she is the storm. That night, Tendo sat beside Nia. Mama, do you remember the forest? Nia looked at him blankly. Which forest, my boy? Tendo clenched his jaw. The one you entered to save your son. Me! Her eyes widened for a moment, but only a flicker. I don't remember a son. She touched his cheek. But I know you. My heart knows you. Tendo stood and walked outside, tears burning his face. Is love still real if memory forgets? He whispered to the stars. Mira's plan was cruel but simple. On the night before Tendo and Bora's wedding, she would feed him poisoned palm wine. When he set out on the river at dawn, the brew would weaken him, his boat would tip. The strong fisherman would drown in his pride. Bora would mourn and Mira would smile. She brewed the poison in silence. Night creatures watched but said nothing. The eve of the wedding came. Music played. Bora wore white beads. Tendo danced with joy. Even Nia smiled. But as Mira served the drink, Nia suddenly dropped a calabash. Flash! Her mind burned. A memory crashed into her soul. The forest, the spirit, Tendo as a child calling her name, her arms holding him, her voice saying, I will give everything to save you, my son. She screamed and fell. Tendo caught her, saying, Mama! And this time she looked up at him, truly seeing him. Tendo, my son. Tears flooded her face. Her hands cupped his cheeks. I remember. Nia pushed the drink away. Do not touch it, she cried. The villagers froze. She turned to Mira. You would kill my son as a gift to your wounded pride? She asked. Mira's eyes filled with rage. He should have loved me, she said. Lightning cracked. The wind howled. The spirit of the forest heard Nia's cry. The ground trembled. Sister, what did you become? Bora said in tears. I became what love never gave me. Mira fled into the night, never seen again. At the river bank, the sun rose golden. Tendo and Bora stood together, hand in hand. Nia, wrapped in white clothes, placed a palm blessing on their hands. Her eyes were full, her heart whole again. Love brought me into the fire, and it was love that brought me back. They buried Nia, Tendo's mother, under the great baobab tree, the same tree where she once danced, and where she had remembered her son's name after years of forgetting. She died with a smile, whispering, "The river flows, but the fire stays." Tendo wept like a boy again. Even the wind that night howled with sorrow, as if the forest itself mourned the woman who gave her mind to save her son. Seasons passed, and in the silence left behind, a new sound came, a baby's cry. Bora gave birth on the first full moon after the harvest. Tendo looked at the tiny girl, swathed in clothes, and felt his mother's warmth in her heartbeat. He named her Nia, not just after a woman, but after a love that defied death. You will carry her light, her strength, her fire, Tendo said. Young Nia grew like a wildfire by the river. Her laughter rang through the village of Oba. Her presence made elders smile, and birds gathered near her steps. But strange things began to happen. She spoke to trees. She sat still by her grandmother's grave and said, "She visits me in dreams. She sings. And sometimes late at night, she whispered things she should not have known. Baba, the river is sad today. The bad woman will return soon," she said. Tendo froze. The bad woman? Mira? Though Mira, Bora's twin sister, had vanished after trying to poison Tendo, no one ever found her body, only a black scarf caught in a tree near the forest edge. Villagers believed she had perished or gone mad, but as little Nia turned 3, the sky began to behave strangely. A moon rose blood red. The market's firewood smoked without flame. Chickens stopped laying eggs. The village elder, Onoro, said, "Something that was once cast out is returning." And in the wind one night, Tendo heard a laugh he'd tried to forget. A woman came into the village. Her face was covered. Her feet were bare, her voice like two voices speaking at once. She claimed to be a healer, but goats died when she stepped. Little Nia saw her and screamed, "Mama, that's the bad woman." Bora gasped. Tendo stood before the woman. "Mira, you are not welcome here." The scarf fell. It was indeed her, but aged, eyes sunken, her skin pale like something no longer living. "You have something of mine," she hissed. "You never had love. That is not the same." "But I had blood," she said. "The child is my blood," she pointed at Mira. "Let me have her or Oba will burn." That night, thunder cracked the sky. Little Nia ran to the baobab tree. Tendo followed. Bora prayed. The whole village watched as winds began to spiral. At the grave, the child placed her hands on the soil. "Grandmother," she whispered, "please, do not let her take me." And the earth glowed faintly. A voice, soft but strong, moved through the leaves. "Love remembers." Then a gust of wind shot through the village, lifting Mira's scarf high into the sky. Mira screamed, clutched her chest, and collapsed to the ground, lifeless. The storm stopped. Peace returned. In the years that followed, little Nia became a girl of wonder. She spoke little of the past, but often sat at the baobab tree, humming the tune only Tendo and Bora recognized. The people of Oba celebrated for 7 days and 7 nights. After years of peace and plenty, Tendo and Bora, already blessed with a gifted healer, Nia, welcomed twin sons into the world. They named them Tarim and Harim. One quiet as the moon, one bold as thunder. Double blessings, the village elder Onoro said. Two flames to guard the land when Tendo is gone. And in the shadows, danger was watching. As Nia turned 18, she was tall, graceful, and wise. Her beauty stopped hearts, but her heart was fixed on protecting others. She was the healer of Oba, but also the guardian of her family. She loved her twin brothers like they were her sons. Every time they would run to her for songs and stories. Every night she lit two small candles before sleeping, one for Tarim and one for Harim. But one evening, the candles flickered and Nia whispered, "Something is wrong." Three men came to Oba one morning, dust on their feet, smiles on their faces. They called themselves travelers, saying they were in search of food and rest. The village welcomed them. Tendo, who was now older but still strong, gave them a room near the river. Nia watched them from afar. Their eyes were too sharp. Their smiles didn't reach their eyes. And they asked strange questions. Do children sleep early here? Are your sons twins? Is your daughter, the healer, married? Nia's spirit whispered, "Danger walks in friendly shoes." That night, under a crooked moon, the travelers met in the dark forest. Their names were not the ones they gave. Their smiles were false. They were child traders, men who stole children from peaceful lands and sold them across the riverlands, and they had chosen their target. "You will take the quiet one of the twin called Tarim," the leader says. "You will take him while he plays by the river." But they didn't know that Nia had heard them. Hidden in the trees, her heart beat like a drum. Nia ran home. Her chest burned, her spirit full of fire. She woke Tarim gently. "You will not go to the river tomorrow," she whispered. "Stay close to Mama and Baba." Tarim nodded, eyes wide with fear. Then she went to the baobab tree and prayed. "Grandmother, guide me, give me your fire." The wind stirred, the leaves rustled, and Nia knew what she must do. The next day, the village was quiet. Children played, birds sang, and the three men stood by the river waiting. But instead of Tarim, they saw Harim laughing and throwing stones. They stepped forward. One reached out. "Come with us, boy. We have something fun to show you." Suddenly, Nia appeared from behind the tree. "No, but I have something to show you." She raised her hand. A red powder flew from her palm, slipping ash. The men dropped to the ground like trees in a storm. The village gathered around the sleeping men. Tendo's voice was thunder. "They came smiling, they came lying, and they came to steal," he said. The elder Onoro spoke. Only the daughter of the fire could see through their mask. When the men awoke, they confessed. They had stolen children from 3 other villages. Oba would have been the 4th. Tendo looked at Nia and held her close. "You saved your brother, you saved Oba again." The kidnappers were sent far away, never to return. Peace returned to the village, but Nia's eyes stayed sharp. She walked with her brothers every day. She told them stories of their grandmother, of healing and of fire. "We must protect each other," she said, "because evil wears many faces." Tarim and Harim grew strong and wise. They were guardians in their own way. Years later, in the healer's hut, 3 candles burned at night. One for Tarim, one for Harim, and one for Nia, who still walked the land with grace, her fire lightening the way. And mothers will whisper to their children, "If you ever feel lost, listen for the lion's daughter. She will find you." Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the story. I remain your favorite Ebony storyteller. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video.